Now, what happens when you're hooked onto something and it suddenly stops existing? Paris had been the center of the world for 19 days, with athletes and fans from all over the world making it their home. The festivities, intense competitive spirit, color and vibes took over, and for that time, the entire city had transformed, something that the French government had been working towards for years. Now that it's all winding down back to normalcy, the question is there an Olympics hangover? For the ardent fans who watch it live and on TV screens or digital screens at home, a big yes. For the Parisians, they probably do not mind reclaiming their city and getting back to their routine, minus the annoying tourists, though they would wish for some things to remain the same. But what about the athletes, and what does the term post-Olympic blues really mean? Here's a report.
There is such a vast difference between the quiet before a storm and the lull after it. The deafening lull as seen in these empty streets of Paris. Just a few days after the mega event, the Olympics wound down. Parisians are getting back to business. It's back to the routine of what normal could be. But they do wish some things did not change, like the sense of security, cleanliness and happy vibes.
All the sites, all monuments were a real advertisement for the city, for the future, I'd say. And it went very well. There were a lot of questions about getting around, about transportation, how to deal with tourists. And in fact, for me, there were no problems.
For the authorities, there is a mixed sense of relief and dread. Relief because it's all finally over without disaster striking. River Seine finally came good. The criticism over the opening ceremony has died down. Some pomp and show at the closing ensured tongues stopped wagging. Some crying foul, and that will continue, but overall no massive glitches to worry about. So President Macron breathes a sigh of relief.
For years and years, many people told us that it was not possible. For years, months, weeks, everyone told us that it was not feasible, that the opening ceremony was madness, that security was not insurable, that the river Seine would never be swimmable, that the French could never be in the top 5 on the medal table. There were a lot of experts from whom we have heard a lot in recent years saying that everything you have done in recent weeks was impossible. Well, thank you, because you have done it. So bravo to you.
But this is short-lived. There is a political deadlock that France was in the middle of when the Games took over. There's a question of the next Prime Minister and what the future holds. So France will have to contest with a reality check of sorts. Whatever they hoped would be swept under the carpet will have to be faced. The former Prime Minister, Gabriel Attal, was in charge in a caretaker role through the Games. But the clock is ticking and Macron is under pressure to name a new Prime Minister.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Ministre.
And speaking of pressure, you'd think the athletes will be breathing easy with that final reprieve from all the tension and the heightened intensity of the Games. But you're wrong. Science terms it as post-Olympic blues or a come down from the Games. Many athletes, like American sprinter Noah Lyles, has spoken of this. It's all a result of a crashing of emotions. It's something you have worked for years. You finally compete, and when it's all over, the adrenaline rush is not there anymore.
It's more about making a map of how to get to a destination. Once you get there, it's like, now what? They're in a period with no plans and no spectators, and they don't know what to do. Elite athletes are used to having each minute planned every day for years. When there's no plan, it's the feeling of I'm lost.
And it's understandable. The careers of many of these high-performance athletes are made or take a nosedive at an Olympics. It's that one thing they work towards time and again. And just the feeling of being in the thick of it with a goal in mind for weeks to suddenly not having any can be challenging to deal with. Spectators too have withdrawal symptoms. For those who made it to the Games to witness it live, there could be no other feeling that could match it. So when it all comes to an end, the emotional climb down is massive. Even for spectators who logged on their television or digital screens, it's an appointment viewing for many that has stopped existing, and a calendar that has disappeared. No alarms to set, no athletes to cheer, or any close finishes to enjoy watching, at least till the next big tournament comes along. The best you can do is try to tide over this feeling And maybe a bit of break is good before you switch on to cheerleader mode once again. Or here's a thought, maybe just plan for LA 2028 from today.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon fans moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.